doesn't depend on your bank account, the kind that isn't earned through exhaustion, the peace that quietly whispers, "You're enough," before the next accomplishment comes. I don't think I've believed that very often. Maybe that's the lesson waiting for me tonight. Not that success is wrong, not that ambition is dangerous, but that satisfaction cannot remain forever postponed. Because if I keep telling myself, "I'll rest when, I'll breathe when, I'll be happy when," then I am going to spend the rest of my life arriving at destinations that never feel like home, only to try to move on to the next one. And it's illusion. Not that success is impossible, but that satisfaction is waiting on the other side of it. That's a phrase I've heard my entire life. I'll be happy when I graduate or get married or get the house or get sober or lose the weight or people see me or my books are published or my business takes off. It's fascinating when you think about it, really, because every one of those statements lives somewhere in the future outside of ourselves, somewhere we're not. It's almost as if we're freaking constantly negotiating with ourselves. Just keep going. It's coming. It's coming. But what if it isn't? Not because it doesn't exist, but because we've been looking in the wrong place. I've climbed enough mountains and reached the top of them to know something. Every summit eventually becomes another trailhead. You don't stay on top of the mountain. You admire the view for a moment, and then life asks you to keep going. And there's another challenge, or maybe opportunity, or maybe huge loss, or another freaking lesson, or a beginning disguised as an ending. Life never says, "Congratulations, you have officially completed being human." We don't get gold stars. Wouldn't it be fun if we did? Instead, life invites us into uncertainty over and over and over again. And maybe that's why so many high achievers struggle when they finally accomplish the thing they wanted, not because the achievement wasn't meaningful, but because they expected it to produce something it never promised: satisfaction. I think that's why people who have everything can feel so empty. They're not ungrateful and they're not selfish, but somewhere deep inside, they believed external success would quiet the internal ache. Internal aches do not negotiate with trophies, medals, and gold stars. They don't disappear because your LinkedIn profile looks impressive. They don't care how many followers you have, or books you've sold, or standing ovations you've received. They ask a much quieter question. Do you finally feel safe enough to be yourself? And that is a completely different path and pursuit. As many of you know, I spent many decades in corporate leadership and education, nearly 3. I lived in a world driven by outcomes, metrics, performance indicators, deadlines, and measurable success. I didn't stop